Morning. GM Brussels. Can I get it a little bit louder, please? There you go. If you guys need some coffee, it's right at the bar over there. Amazing. Well, thank you everyone for being here. Welcome to Boundless. This is our first ever inaugural RISC Zero Summit, and we're really excited to get with the programming here today. We have an amazing lineup of speakers and topics, and I'm very excited to take you through this journey. So my name is Mashiat. I'm part of the partnerships and ecosystem team here at RISC Zero. And yeah, it's such a pleasure to see all of you here today, and I'll be your MC from 11 to 4:35, if we're on time. All right. So before we dive right in, I wanted to take a moment to talk about Boundless. I mean, we've been very, very intentional with how we've designed the space and this summit. And as I kind of go through my opening statements, I think one of the biggest questions that I want to put forth is, what does it really mean to be boundless? What does it mean to be vast, to be immense, and to really be at the forefront of technology that is unbridled with like limitless opportunities? The real thing is like becoming boundless is really not an end state. It's actually an evolution and an expansion that we've been living in, that our technology and our industry has been living in for the past decade. And I think that, as we kind of even take a deeper look at ZK, we can understand that it in itself has been in an evolution of boundless and is a microcosm of what boundless means. Amazing. All right. So when we take a look at a snapshot of zero knowledge and zero knowledge technology, maybe in the past year or maybe in the past like 5 years, we've been really hearing, ZK this and ZK that. But really, zero knowledge has been around for 30 plus years. And there's been a lot of deeper level cryptography work that's really enabled us to go boundless now with a lot of real world applications. In 1985, researchers, Shafi Goldwasser, Sylvia Macaulay, and Charles Rakoff introduced the concept of zero knowledge proofs. This is a cryptographic technique for those who are new to ZK, in where you can prove that the validity of information of a particular piece of input is correct without sharing that input itself. And it was really and very computationally intensive until 1990s, where we were able to really bring forth the idea of succinct proofs. And then in 2010, when we really had a breakthrough with cloud computing and we could actually implement ZK proofs. Coupled with that, in 2016, we have the first ZK cryptocurrency, Zcash, that's really, enables ZK proofs for transaction privacy. And then in the past few years, in 2019, we've really seen the advancements of ZK rollups, right? And how they're not only bringing the intrinsic property of privacy, but are also furthering blockchain efficiency through scalability and verifying transactions off-chain. And this is really the momentum that we've been riding on. And today we'll be exploring, how do we take this one step further? How do we take it to the stage of adoption? So if we were to erase the friction for every programmer to also be a cryptographer, what does that look like? What does a world powered by ZK look like? What do the Legos for zero knowledge look like? When we think about DeFi and money Legos and how modular it has been, and how it has really achieved a state of PMF even in our industry, how do we further that in the ZK space, and how do we synergistically tie that together with all of the other innovations that are happening in restaking, in payments, in stable coins, and identity. And this is kind of the design space that RISC Zero has been playing on. So we've been taking a really big bet into general purpose ZK. That's kind of been our bread and butter. And we've been on a mission to really use that to unlock boundless compute. So since 2021, our mission has really been, how do we abstract the complexity of using zero knowledge, and how do we empower builders to build more accessible, scalable, and expressive on-chain applications, but with the tools that they already know and love. We don't want folks to be bogged down by creating all of these complicated circuits. We want them to use tools and languages that they're familiar with to be able to get to the next stage of development. And I think we really have come to an inflection point. I mean, with the launch of our ZKVM 1.0, we've really reached like a pivotal moment, and we've achieved efficiencies and performance in proving and verification that are not just competitive, they're absolutely groundbreaking. And this kind of solidifies our testament that ZK is the end game, and that it will power the underlying infrastructure for blockchain scalability and privacy. And this is why it really matters. So with ZKVM 1.0, we're really ushering in a new era of production-ready, verifiable real-world applications. This release really marks like a quantum leap for blockchain efficiency, but also, it really goes to show how fast we've accelerated and how fast we're going to go boundless. Just a few years ago, we've been dismissed as complicated moon math, and now we're really powering optimistic rollups, we're enabling secure private voting, and we're empowering developers across payments, identity, gaming, and DeFi to really launch complex applications on-chain while reaping the benefits of off-chain data. Our vision is general purpose, but our mission is limitless and accessible. So coupled with the frontier work today with our partners who are working in modularity and restaking on L2s, I really think that together we are a force to be reckoned with. On to becoming boundless. So I think this is a very, very timely meme. And our VP, Kamala Harris, has really put it succinctly that the pursuit of boundlessness is really about what ZK can be, unburdened by what it has been. Our pursuit for boundlessness really brings about the responsibility to design solutions that transcend our current systems and benefit those most in need. I mean, that's kind of been my journey into ZK as well. I personally believe that ZK can be pivotal for bringing in data sovereignty for women, specifically in the digital health space, and that's my kind of driving force in this industry. But that's also kind of why I wanted to take a moment to remind us here that as we explore this technology, this is also a movement that has really profound implications for privacy and for basic human rights as well. So, as you expand your perspective on verifiable computation, as you deep dive into the nitty-gritty of proof aggregation, hash functions, modularity, restaking, AVSs, co-processors, and you take those forward this week into building your application or your platform, take some time to also reflect that who will your innovations truly serve? Because that's going to be kind of the most important impact that you will have throughout the next 5 years. Let's take a quick look at today's agenda. We have a stacked programming with some amazing partners and panelists from EigenLayer, Tychos, Treya, ZK Sync, Telos, Nibra. We also have Anna Rose, who will be hosting a fireside chat with Wayadai from 1KX, and she has been absolutely pivotal in forming kind of the early community in the ZK space. And we will also have a closing keynote from Aztec CEO, Zach Williamson. So it's very, very exciting, and I really hope that today's sessions continue to inspire you, to challenge you. They'll be here to also equip you with the knowledge to really drive forth the adoption of ZK and the adjacent technologies. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to our investors who have been absolutely pivotal in helping us design the programming, making sure that it's intentional and impactful. So shout out to IOSG, Blockchain Capital, Bain Capital Crypto, and Fenbushi as well. We have been really blessed to have a lot of supportive stakeholders who have helped make this possible. All right. So as I come to my closing statement, I really urge all of you to engage fully today. We have some of the best leading minds in our industry in this room. And I think that this is an amazing opportunity to not only learn from them, but to kind of critically think about how they're approaching the problem, and taking the time to also share your passion and why you're here and getting to know them at a deeper level. This summit is really more than just a gathering. It's more than just a half-day conference. It's really a launch pad for innovation and change. And I hope that as you go through today's programming, that you really take away that the future is verifiable and you guys are the architects, and that you have the power to fashion it into what you want it to be. And yeah, so we are going to be moving on with our opening keynote. So our CEO, Jeremy Bruceley, will be providing kind of a keynote on ZK proofs in action and how we've been steadily advancing the stack for production-ready real-world applications. So thank you, everyone, and let's go Boundless. Woo!